When I first heard this story, one of the things it did in my mind was it's wanting to wow the customer. And one of the things I picked up, as I do now, I've done this for since I started sending emails. So I think it's 2001 or something. When a customer ever gets an email from me, I'll always call and say, "Did you get the email?" Or when if somebody calls me, I'll text them, and I always have this kind of double follow-up thing. And it's because I'm always worried that the Stairmaster is not going to show up. Maybe, I guess that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, well, it's not only that. I think it brings another level of comfort to your customer, that you are very concerned about them, and you want to make sure that they're taken care of and nothing slipped up along the way.
So if you had to quantify a number of rejections that you had, how many, hundreds of rejections before you sold? It was 3 years. Were there hundreds of rejections?
There are two types of rejections.
Okay.
There are the rejections where people say, we have enough equipment. We don't need anything else.
We're good right now.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
And then there are the rejections that are the hurtful ones. Where in the world did you get this? These are stairs to where? You just stand on stairs and go nowhere. No, we don't want it. I got a lot of those.
And so, but you were able to mentally say, hey, I left the cotton fields. I took a job washing dishes. If I can get through that, I can get through this.
And that goes back to what we mentioned earlier. Whether it's failure, whether it's adversity, our ability to face these issues head on and to really take charge of our own lives, we are building up an asset base that we can draw from that prepares us for the future that we don't quite know how it will look, but we can be prepared for.
I know with our son being, when he was born blind, that to me just took the air out of my sail. It just kind of, and moving forward now, when I have a client that rejects me in some capacity, it happens all the time, I almost don't process it. And I had one guy I talked to who was a venture capital guy, and I'll never forget this. This just happened a while back. He says, no. And in my mind, I instinctively process as a need for additional information. And I said, well, let me ask you, what's your main concern? And I go again, and he says no. And I ask again, and I said, wait, on the third time, I got a yes. And I remember talking to him, and he just commented, you don't seem to process no very well. And I just basically referenced, I guess I never articulated it that way, but it's kind of like, I've dealt with some adversity over here, and so, you telling me no doesn't really register in my mind.
And the easiest thing in the world is to kind of go with the flow.
Okay.
And if that flow is no, go with it. But I don't like no.
Okay.
Not when I know that I'm at a good position. I have something to offer. The other person may not know everything that I know about that, but to come out with just a blank no, I recoil because I'm human. I recoil, but I don't recoil for more than 24 hours. Then I'm back at it again, finding another angle, another avenue in order to make it happen. You
recoil, but usually it doesn't take you longer than about 24 hours is what you're saying.
That 48 hours is too long to worry about somebody else in that type of a situation.
I've never seen you battle adversity where it's got you down for more than about 5 minutes, so I'm impressed that you said 24 hours.
I'm human, just like everybody else.
Now let me ask you this here. We're getting into the brass tacks of some specific action steps that the folks at home can imply. What do you do on a daily basis to stay positive? What are you doing on a daily basis to kind of stay positive? Or do you read a book every morning? Do you pray? What do you do? What's your process? Because all of us deal with failure. What is your thing to get yourself coached up every morning?
Well, the first thing that I tend to do every morning is when I start out my day, I really have reflection.
Okay.
Because I become thankful, first of all, that I'm alive. Because that means there's nothing I can't tackle because I'm here to do it. If I was not here, then I can't handle it. So I become very thankful for just being alive, no matter what the problems are. I become thankful that I'm here to deal with them because I know there are millions of people who would want to be here just to deal with them. So starting out in that mode of being thankful for life, and then as I drive to work or whatever, I think about my family. And I think about what can I do to make their lives better. you know, and I have to kind of guard myself there because I love work, but I also realize that my family and me, we have to have that time together as well. So I have to have that emotional time there and have to plan for that as well.